Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I am doing this is the left front of the little cardigan we're doing for Daggery. I haven't done much knitting today. Haven't been out in my garden because it's still a bit wet. I did go out, tried the spade in the soil, and I couldn't even get the soil to come off the spade, it was that wet. So I thought, I'm going to leave the garden, let it dry out a little bit today, see what it's like tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty good day tomorrow, might get some sunshine and that, but I'll have to try and finish it off tomorrow, because just to get the rest of the weeds out, because there's more rain again coming on Thursday. But I've been on my computer this morning. I started off with I was printing out a lot of my knitting patterns. I keep about 5, I have 11, 12 patterns I think, something like that, patterns, and I keep 5 patterns. When I print them out, I print 5 of each, and they're ready for anybody, on Etsy or eBay buying them, or anybody even privately. I sell them privately sometimes by emails and things like that. So I like to keep them topped up all the time. So I was checking all the patterns in my folder, and in fact some of them were gone all together. I've sold quite a lot last few days and that, like, actually. So I thought I sorted out what ones I wanted printing, and it was quite a lot actually. I kept having to put more paper up on the the printer as it was going through the thing. So I printed them all out. Then I thought I better check the ink levels. Mine's got tanks. It's an Epson Eco tank, and it's got tanks that you fill up with the bottles of ink. So I thought I better check the tanks, because the thing had come up on my computer, the screen, just showing that the levels were a little bit low on the different colours. So I filled all the ink tanks up, and I think one of the colours ran out after I managed to fill it right to the top. It will last quite a while. And there was a tiny little bit of ink, you could hardly see it, left in the bottom of the bottle. So I thought, I better go on the internet and see about ordering another pack of ink bottles. And I ordered them 4 bottles at a time. The 4 colours: the black, the red, the blue and the yellow. And I ordered the 4 bottles, and I know they're very expensive, mine, to get the proper Epson ones. When I first got my computer, I got 4 bottles with it. There was 5 actually, there was 2 black. And it took about 2 years to use up all those inks. They lasted, of course I wasn't printing out patterns and that then, and they did last a long time. So I think it was, I went into Curry's, I think it was, to buy another set of 4 bottles of ink, and it was £12 for each bottle. So it worked out, it was £48 for the 4 bottles of ink. But it might sound a lot, but it's an awful lot cheaper than the cartridges, because I used to have a printer with the cartridges before, and was lucky if I got 100 pages of any printing out of it. And sometimes one colour ran out, and that meant the whole cartridge was no good, because you couldn't use all those colours but in one cartridge, where these are all separate tanks, and you can still print. Even if one runs out, you can still print whatever you want, especially with black. You can keep on printing with the black. So I thought, anyway, I started looking on the internet, and the last ones I bought a set on Amazon, and they only cost me £13 something. They weren't the proper Epson ones, and I thought I'll try the cheaper ones, and they were quite good. There was no different that I could see from the Epson, but it did cost me about, I think it's over £4 for postage on Amazon if you haven't got a Prime thing. So it cost me about £18. I think it cost me about £18 altogether to get those 4 bottles. So I had a look on Amazon. I went onto the same, you know, the ones I had bought before, because it comes up on the thing what you've bought. So I clicked on there, and them same bottles were £19. And I thought, that's £6. Of course, when I bought them the last time, it was before all the price rises and everything. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have a look around first, because that's £19. And then there's, I think it was over £4 for postage from Amazon, nearly £5, something like that, I think it was. I thought, I'm going to have a look around first. So I thought, I checked all the other ones on Amazon, and they were all about the same price. One or two cheaper ones, but my printer they have to be, the bottles of ink have to, they have a number on, they have to be 102 for my printer. And one or two of the cheaper ones, they said that they were 104, and they said they were compatible with my printer as well. But some didn't say that as well, so I wasn't taking the chance on those ones. So I thought I'd have a look on eBay. So I came across one on eBay. It was actually in the auction, and there were 5 bottles of the proper Epsom. They were still in the plastic containers that they're sealed, you know, in plastic containers. You have to cut the containers off to get into them when you get them. That's what they were in mine. And it was someone that had bought the printer and didn't need the ink bottles because he was doing something else with the printer, subliminal, something like that. I don't know what that is, but he was doing something like that and he didn't need the bottles, so he was selling them. But he was putting them through auction. And when I looked on it, there was one person bidding had went up to £10, and I know what those Epsom inks are worth. Of course, I looked up the Epsom ink ones afterwards, and I think it was about £55 was the cheapest I could find for just 4 bottles. So there's 5 bottles. This was 2 bottles of black, the same as what I got in my printer when I first bought it, and the other 3 colours. And someone had bidded £10 and it had stayed there for days. No one else was bidding. So I put a bid in for £11, and he put another one in for £12, and I put one in for £13, and we kept putting the price up like that, and he got up to £16, and I would have went more. I would have went quite a bit more because I know what they're worth, but he stopped at £16 because I put a bid on at £17, and he never upped that bid anymore. So I was watching. There was only a few minutes left to the time that it was up for auction. I think there was about 20 minutes when I first put it on, and I was keep watching that bid thing, and I'm watching him, and he never put another bid up, and I thought, I bet he's waiting till the last few seconds he'll put a bid up, and then the bid will be shut off and I won't be able to put another bid on. But I was keep watching it, and never come on. It got right to the last few seconds and it went off, and I won the bid. So I got them for £17 plus I had to pay, there was £3 something, just over £3 postage. I had to pay postage as well. So I know what they're worth, and I would have went up a lot more if he had kept going up, but either he didn't realise how much the Epsom cartridges, they're not cartridges, Epsom bottles of ink were, because they're quite big, the bottles, you get quite a lot in them. I can show you a size of the ones that I have on mine now. That's a black bottle. That one's got 127 mils in it, and I've only used half of that one, and I've had these inks for a lot of months now. And that was the blue one. There was just a little bit left in. You can just see a tiny little bit left in the bottle of that one. That's 70 mils. The coloured ones, like these ones, are slightly smaller. They're 70 mils, but when you buy the printer, you get one that size. You get 2 that size. That's what's in the ones I bid for. So I know I'm going to get a good Epsom. And these ones were something called Joy Printing. They were good. I'll go back to these ones again after I've used the Epsom ones, because they are good, and I know that the colours are exactly the same as the printer. There was no change to the colour anything when I put these ones in instead of the Epsom ones. But that's my little bit about my printer off, and I have been doing a little bit of this this morning. the little matinee coat. It looks quite wide when you see it, but when you put the yoke on, it does pull it in. That's the way matinee coats are. And I have stitched the little bottom, the picot edge up, because I didn't like it lying the way it was. I might try, when I come to do the two front bits, I might see if I can pick the stitches up as I'm knitting, because I'm not sure, because the pattern starts straight after the picot edge, and I'm not sure whether I can pick the stitches up, whether it would knock the alignment of the picot out. I don't know, because usually when I do picot, I do it a little bit higher up than that, so when you come to pick the stitches up, you would pick the stitches up about here somewhere, but this has to be picked up on the same row that I will be doing the pattern on. But I've got a little trick here from Derek. I was watching one of Derek's videos the other day, and he's doing a matinee coat as well, and he says when he finished the back, instead of putting it onto a holder, anything like that, he put it onto these are 5mm, I've just used the same, doesn't really matter what size circular needles you put them on, but he had done the back, and he put the back on, and then he did the sleeve next, because you'd have to do what comes next on the thing. So he had put one of the sleeves on, and he was going to do the other sleeve, and then do the fronts and put the fronts on, so that in the right order for picking the stitches up for doing the yoke. So instead of having to take them all off pins and what have you, you can knit them straight off the circular needle, which was a good idea. I never thought about doing that, but that was a good little tip off Derek, so thank you very much, Derek, because that's what I'm doing. But I started this morning, and I think I got about this far up just before I've cast off a few stitches there for the for the armhole, and I think I got about this far up here, and I'm looking at it, and you look at the pattern, it goes like diagonally across, and just one of the rows, just one half of the row was out the line, and oh God, I've made a mistake. And this pattern here, you can imagine trying to take stitches back with this pattern, because you knit 3 stitches, and then you take the first of those 3 stitches over the top of the other 2 stitches, so you're left with 2 stitches on. So imagine trying to pick stitches up like that you've already knit. So I just pulled the rows out down to where that line was, where it was out of line, and I did manage to pick them up in that. But what I had done is, this pattern is you're going across the row, and we started off, I think the row I started off with, it was knit one, it was slip one actually, slip one, you had wool forward, knit 3, pass the first of those 3 stitches over the other 2 stitches, and then it's wool forward, and then knit those 3, do that again all the way across. And I couldn't work out what I had done wrong, and I'm looking, when I managed to pick all the stitches up and get them back on, I had went so far across the row, and so half of the row was right, and then I had done 3, put the wool forward, knit the 3 stitches, pass that first stitch over the other 2, instead of putting the wool forward again, I had went straight onto the knit 3 and passing over, and it had made me 1 stitch less in the pattern, so it was put the pattern out for the next few rows that I had done, so I had to pull it out. I was so annoyed. But it's easily done. But I like that idea what Derek's given me. So the rest of the pieces will be going on when I do it. So that was all I had time for this morning to finish that, because I think I had done up to about here the day before. So I finished from there up to there, just ready for to start the yoke on the back. So that's what I had done on that. And then this was last night I was knitting this, and I've just started this because I haven't done much knitting after I'd done that couple of hours and that this morning. Then I started going on the internet and looking on this, that and the other for the inks and other things. It's amazing how much time it takes to go through all these things. And well, I had went onto Amazon as well, and I was going to buy those inks at first, and I put them in the basket on Amazon, and I can't find out how to get them off. I think maybe I might have to click on as though I was buying something and delete them off the thing, so they're still on there, but I haven't bought them off. Maybe it's just leave them on until the next time I need some more ink. But I started looking on other things and seeing if I could find the little the self-stick little bags where I put the cards, put the for putting cards in for birthday cards and that. They are just right for my patterns. They're the right size. They're A5 size or C5 size. I think you call it A5 or C5. There's both things. So I started looking on Amazon and eBay and that for those as well, to see if I could find them any cheaper than, because I get 45 for £2 from the Works. You know, those, you get those all sorts of things in games and jigsaws and books and everything in the Works, and they sell. That was how I was lucky. I found out where they sold those in the Works as well. But I was just checking to see if I could find them cheaper anywhere else, but I couldn't, so I'm still going to have to buy them from the Works. So anyway, I'm getting on with my knitting, but it is actually 6 o'clock and I haven't had my tea yet, so I'm going to do my tea first before I start knitting again. So that's just a little bit for today, so thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. And as you can see, it's not quite as warm today. I'm wearing my cardigan. I noticed straight away when I got up this morning, I'd just come down with my t-shirt on and my arms were cold and that, and put my cardigan on. Temperature's really dropped. But anyway, bye for now.